What up, YouTube? Thank you for all the love on the audio video. Just some updates for y'all. I'm going to share some tips with problems that people have had installing things and share my thoughts about the recent tweets from Infinity Ward about audio changes that are coming with the Season 2 Reloaded update on March 15th. The first issue that I see most people having is just with the basic installation. When you install Equalizer APO, you're not looking for an application called Equalizer APO. It installs two apps, Configurator. Configurator installs the tools to edit the sound devices on your computer, and Configuration Editor, which allows us to input settings. So after you install the application, you should not be looking for Equalizer APO, but you should be looking for Configuration Editor. Another issue I saw people having in my services and in the comments was where they were installing Equalizer APO. For the most part, when you install applications that have to change things at the core level of the computer, these things should be installed in the program files of your C drive, not on a hard drive somewhere else on your computer. I saw people installing these on their desktop, in OneDrive folders on their desktop, and I could not figure out for the life of me why it wasn't working, but I so far have a 100% success rate with everyone that's come through the service. We've managed to get the audio working if they haven't been able to do so on their own. So make sure you're looking for the right application, Configuration Editor, or Configurator if you're having trouble getting the preamp test to work, to change your volume levels. You can run Configurator again and make sure it's installed on the hi-fi cable and the default device you usually listen to your game on. Now that brings me to another note. If you use something like SteelSeries Sonar, then you will install it on the hardware device that's listed on your system. So for me, that's my speakers port. For you, it might be your SteelSeries Nova or your Headset Pro Game. One of those devices. You should not be installing it on any type of virtual device, as this will not function. Another thing to check if you're curious, if you use the 3.5mm port on the back of your motherboard, you can select that port, and if you can configure it for 7.1 surround sound, like I've had some clients been able to do, then you do not need to use the ASIO Bridge tool. The ASIO Bridge tool is only there to patch your hardware device, like my optical cable, which does not support 7.1 speaker configuration, into a fake hi-fi cable port that can be configured for that 7.1 surround sound configuration. A lot of you tagged me in Tactical Brit's video about the audio, which was incredibly well done. Great job, dude. Love your content. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it down below. And I can't help but feel March 10th's tweet from Infinity Ward was in direct response to this video. They said, Season 2 Reloaded will include audio updates. 1. Submixes that were affecting enemy footstep volumes. Equalize sand footsteps to better cut through the mix, similar to dirt and concrete. He went into great detail, Tactical Brit, in his video covering how all of the loud sounds cause quieter sounds to duck down and how the mix is just a crowded mess. The acknowledgement of fixing submixes really speaks to what I and Tactical Brit have been talking about this entire time. The audio mix in the game is just so lazily done. It feels like at launch we had audio tracks missing, and now they've brought them back into just this crowded, gross stereo mix. That brings me to this other point, which I talked about on stream, so I'll just share those recordings now. PC users will have an audio update allowing users to select stereo or surround. So, we're gonna release a updated set of settings when the patch comes out. I was gonna do version 2, but that seems like polishing a turd that doesn't need to be polished, because it's all gonna change. So, on the update, the thing that everybody's going to need to do is switch to surround sound outputs with my version 1 audio and then wait for the video to come out, because this should absolutely make my audio twisted. Like in terms of controllability, like we'll have front channels, bass channels, we'll move speakers even more accurately. It's going to be nuts. Submixes, right? So that tells me submixes means there's channels of audio that are mixed down to submixes that are then mixed down to a greater mix, right? So that tells me that there are multiple tracks of audio. Like let's just say there's 16 tracks of audio. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Audio. Surround sound, 7.1. Always on, no native option, right? Up to 7.1. Verified by user Soldier Man Lan on the 30th of July 2022. Tested using Razer Surround Sound 7.1 virtualization, confirmed by using Orban loudness meter, right? And so Orban loudness meter is an application that lets you see all of the different tracks in audio, right? So you could see, you can't really see it because it's really small. LF, RF, C, LFE, LR, RR. You know, they have all the different channels, right? So he confirmed multi-channel audio, or they confirmed multi-channel audio with this. So season 1, it was there, and it was just not outputting appropriately. And so when you turned on loudness EQ, it was putting a compressor on some tracks of audio. And what it happened to do was compress footsteps and all of like the sweaty sounds in a way that made them sit above everything else. So chests got louder, footsteps got louder, but it's because all of those multi-tracks of audio were just getting lost, right? So that's what they're talking about in this tweet. When they go down, this option will default to stereo if not set. We have been investigating clips which appear to only include the front left and right channels when the output on some PCs may default to surround, resulting in missing channels of audio. That's why everyone's audio sucked season 1. That's why loudness EQ worked so well, because it was grabbing missing channels of audio and compressing them. It just so happened that these missing channels of audio were all the important ones for us competitive players, right? Not saying I'm a competitive player. I play very competitively. What they've currently done is they just only give you a stereo switch, and their stereo mix, because they are talking about addressing the submixes, is terrible. Terrible. So hopefully we get better submixes. Regardless, we, with my audio settings, are going to be able to set it to surround sound and then fully utilize that surround sound mix even if you don't have it, which you could do with Dolby before, but now we're going to have much, much, much greater control through an application like Hasuvi. Hasuvi paired with Equalizer APO is just going to be OD. I know this is a weird ranty video, but I wanted to get all my thoughts out before the update. My knee jerk and my thought process here is after they give us a real surround sound mix in the update, and you're not just locked to Windows default or stereo in-game, the plugins like Hasuvi and that hi-fi cable that can virtualize a 7.1 speaker setup are going to get even more control over the game mix. We're going to be able to control front, side, rear, side left, back left, all of these different channels. We're going to be able to control the separate bass tones that are fed to a subwoofer, and we should be able to compress and equalize each of those channels separately. The possibilities are pretty endless, and I will be live on the 15th in the morning over on Twitch, twitch.tv/art_is_war. I will be testing all of this as soon as it drops. We'll be going over the patch notes as soon as they're live. If you learned something, like the video. If you like these kind of ranty videos, let me know down in the comments below. Subscribe and click the bell so you know when I upload another one, and I'll see y'all at the live stream going over all the patch notes on the 15th. Until the next video, peace.